has metal detecting had its day, or will it just be different? Well, I've arrived back at the coast, and one of the questions I've got in my head and I want to discuss with you is, has metal detecting had its day as we know it? Is this hobby possibly doomed? I know some people who run metal detecting rallies and weekend group digs, and they can't really run a crash, but they do it because there's money involved, and sometimes there could be big money involved, like detectable. Now, I don't think there's ever been a problem at detectable that I've heard of, but last year here in Yorkshire, and I think it was the Yorkshire group digging in Lincolnshire, this particular group I mentioned, they couldn't even look after a crash. You know, they had 8 ambulances taking away 13 people because of drugs. And you get a bit of alcohol involved in an evening and all hell breaks loose. They just can't control themselves, and that's what happens if you bring alcohol into the equation. I've got 1 or 2 good friends who run rallies. One of them is the Band of Brothers. And they have really good, well-organised rallies with mature, sensible people. And they're all from, you know, military backgrounds. That's why it's called the Band of Brothers. And they know how to behave. But it really surprised a number of people that I've seen since this lockdown, and especially since the releasing or the easing of the lockdown, how they behave. And I just find it fascinating. So really the question I'm asking you is, do you think there is a sustainable future for metal detecting rallies and weekend group digs with large numbers of people, an organised event in this country? Bearing in mind we know. And will you be affected? Don't you ever go on group digs anyway? Or if you do you not get involved in, you know, the after dark activities, drinking and bars and becoming irresponsible? Yeah, why the heck would I want to go to a group dig? I guess I'm a little bit disappointed in some of the people in this hobby, but then again I always have. Okay, hands up, who noticed I started off on this video digging in some broad beans? Well, the reason I had to carry on a cafe on my way home is because I didn't find anything. Nothing. Not a sausage, not even a signal all day. But the debate is something I really wanted to have with you, because should there be some control from an outside organisation, an independent body who oversees the licensing perhaps of organised rallies and weekend group digs, that sort of thing? And who should that be? Well, I'm not qualified to answer that, so I don't know, but I'd like to hear what you think. I think it was October 2018, the government were looking at banning completely all form of large organisation rally weekends and group digs. They didn't mention anything like statistics or numbers. Then Brexit came in, and now the coronavirus has come in, but that is still a debate which has been written and it's on the table for discussion. Now, who do you think should be the controlling bodies? I know who shouldn't be. People like, for example, the National Council for Metal Detecting. But if it's not people like the NCMD, and maybe it's not the government, maybe it's a government body or a government assigned body that takes control of it, how will it work? How will it be monitored? Would you pay a license, for example, if you're an operator, not as a detectorist? Pay a license to have so many rallies per year, and these are your responsibilities to make sure that that drug incident, for example, or the coil to the soil couldn't take place again. But there are a few who have ulterior motives: to steal machines during the night, to obtain permissions when they find out this is a good place, go on that rally. If anything turns up and it's worthwhile, we'll try and steal this permission from the detectorist or the rally organizer, and we'll go directly to the landowner. And if he says no, we'll hawk it anyway. Yet there are people like that who go to rallies for various reasons, including that one. I think the biggest danger at the moment is with the coronavirus, where our safety is of utmost importance. And there are a few people in this hobby who aren't very intelligent. They all stand out, head and shoulders above everyone else. You know who they are instantly. And they don't really care about anything other than themselves. they're not going to abide by any social distancing rules. And once there's a chance to, let's say, get the beer flowing in an evening, everybody loses their inhibitions. They're also not very careful anymore. And it should be the responsibility of the organisers to make sure they step in and take control. And that's not happening. Historical theft, the theft of artifacts, the non-declarations of fines. It's been brought to my attention recently when somebody suggested a topic for conversation. Why don't we talk about this particular group? They never ever report any of their fines to the liaison officers. Why? How can they get away with that? And we know they find good stuff, so and hoards. So how can they get away with it? Well, I don't have any first-hand information on that. That's why I've never discussed it. But Alan said to me the other day, why are women allowed to come to metal detecting group rallies? Well, that's another issue altogether, which I don't want to get involved with. His argument was they're distracting. It costs more, which put the ticket price up because they need different facilities to men. Not only that, but there are allegations of harassment when the alcohol flows in an evening. And again, there's one common denominator here, and that's men with alcohol in the system. That, I believe, is the entire responsibility of the operators and organisers. And they need to be held accountable. They need to have a licence. And where they are proven that they are not responsible enough to hold that licence, it should be withdrawn. Now, it's a lot of contentious stuff in this video, but it's stuff that's been brought to me by first-hand experience or by witnessing other people going through it. So I think it's worthwhile having the debate. Well, what do you think? What do you honestly think about the group detecting rallies? Do you think they've got a limited future? Do you think there should be licensing? Some sort of control body in place to make sure that you and me are safe? I don't know. I don't do group rallies, but I know a lot of people do because they haven't got permission and they rely on them for their weekly fix on a weekend or for a weekend away during the summer. So please do tell me what you think, and if you agree with me, disagree with me, that's not the topic here. It's what you think should happen in the future. More importantly than that, keep safe, happy hunting, have a real good summer. If you go on a rally, make sure you lock all your detecting gear away and don't consume too much booze. But whatever you do, enjoy it and have fun. See you next time.